take me away. It is our faith in the dreams I made. We'll go far away, no, no, no. Don't make me say no, no, no. We'll go far away, no, no, no. Don't make me stay. We can shoot for the stars together. We can make it last forever. Oh, 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 oh. We wanna see the moon and planet. Wanna make it last forever. Oh, 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 oh. We'll go far away, no, no, no. Don't make me say no, no, no. We'll go far away, no, no, no. Don't make me stay. Rising with each beat that the music is bringing, we're all flames in the
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the OCC. It's great to be back. I haven't been here in a while. This is Fatality versus Solar Eclipse.
Yep,
This
this is the OCC2. This is the OCT2 stage finals, but it's also the match that's going to determine which one of these teams, these two talented teams, which one of them are going to graduate to OCC1 and start to play at the higher level with our new champions in residence, Hanamura Hellhounds, etc., all the teams we love. Now, both of these teams actually have quite a history with each other. I think I'll do
I don't know it as much as you do. So you
All
do
right.
better for that.
All right, I'll do it. Both of these teams have had multiple occurrences, and all of them fit. And in probably the last showing, Solar Eclipse almost fell apart as a team. However, they had a miraculous comeback, and they managed to keep their organization together. And now they are here in the OCC Stage 1 Finals. Meanwhile, with Solar Eclipse, they haven't went through too many changes through the regular season. However, you can definitely tell they're just growing as a team. Even though they started off dominant, you can still see a lot of growth in the team. But then again, you're seeing the same amount of growth with Solar Eclipse. So let's see if anything changed ever since week 3 of Stage 1.
Fatality to me seems like our version of the Vancouver Titans. They started off good and they've just really gotten better, honestly. They just have not stopped.
Yep, I couldn't say it better. And then Solar Eclipse is like maybe your Shanghai Dragons, to where they were off to a rough start, almost fell apart, and then their organization kind of got a burst of energy. And we're actually seeing some of those new members in right now. We see Blue coming in for them. We also have Cajun Wise Guy. So some pretty interesting pickups there.
Although to be fair, I don't think anybody for the rest of time itself will ever get off to as bad a start as the Shanghai Dragons did. Although I am very proud of them for pulling it together the way they did.
Yeah, but definitely.
Glad
Like,
to see that they stopped playing goats before goats died.
yeah. And kind of like them, the only thing is that for Solar Eclipse, they didn't suffer the same fate as teams like Breaking Wave have, or that they haven't suffered fates like teams like Breaking Wave have, where they completely just imploded on themselves.
Here's me and my teammate Trash Me is her username. As a Doomfist Somber pair, we we perform really well together. We took out Bunker on Havana multiple times. It's just we're just getting better. But I think that Hackfist is easily the probably the best at the moment for 222. Pending any nerfs or buffs that might be coming into the game soon.
Yep, despite this, we're not going to be seeing any Doofus. Instead, we're going to see double Death Ball.
May.
However, this time we're going to see the May coming out, trying to cut off targets. However, Cajun Wise Guy immediately getting picked up at the start. That's not a very
There
good look
goes
for Solar
Zarya
Eclipse.
Flux going
And
off.
you can see the focus fire for Fatality is pretty stellar right now. Boohead mopping up the kills. They might as well get this dude a janitor skin. However, he does get picked off by Sobek, but it's not going to matter as Fatality in a clean sweep manages to take the point already.
Now, I was very, very surprised about that. And in case you can't tell, that's sarcasm, really. They started off good. As soon as they got out the choke, they focused one or two people and they focused them until they were gone. That's exactly what you do. A lot of people in this new 222 meta, which is forced, have been falling back into that solo mentality that we all used to have when we first started, forgetting that they still have to play as a team. We've all fallen prey to that, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be really important to see if
Individual.
Yeah, it's gonna be important to make sure that individual targets for Solar Eclipse don't immediately get picked off, like you saw with Blue there. And when stuff like that happens, they just need to kind of back off and regroup for a second. Like they shouldn't have went in with that fight. But you can still see like those early pickoffs just affecting the team, like in a mentality wise. Like you saw Cajun after getting picked off early, he just started to hang back a lot more.
And as Cajun goes down and Reinhardt Sobek just charges into an immortality field. You can't do anything while that's up, so no point in charging. And he paid the price for it.
Anyway, coming back, we're going to see Solar Eclipse trying to poke Fatality down from the high ground. This is usually a good way to force resources out. However, with the comp that Fatality are running and the way that they're playing, they're like, you know what? You can sit up top, poke all you want. You're coming to hell down here. Shatter from Sobek
nice block.
Swift, though. So nice job from Ramza. Now we're going to have multiple pincer angles.
good trance.
Yep. And you gotta
Tra-
remember, with the Reinhardt, you can only block from one angle. So when you have so much stuff, the Sim turrets, the Tac Visor, and the Reinhardt and Zarya coming in, there's only
It-
so much you could do, and Fatality, with ease, managed to take that point.
Fatality played that so well. I mean, imagine Solar Eclipse right now, how sad they must be. You get grabbed, you get a perfect trance, and then that trance is gone, and because they waited, and then you're all dead.
Yep,
And
this is gonna be up to the IGL, or this gonna be up to the
oh,
IGL of Solar Eclipse to focus on bringing that team back mentally.
I think we're seeing an original bunker coming out of Fatality.
Yep, definitely looks like it. Only
It's
difference is that instead of seeing a May, we're gonna be seeing that soldier come in, and
a,
we
a
almost
lo-
got Clockwork Vendetta coming out.
a
Actually,
lot of people forget that Torb was in the original bunker and Bastion was not. A lot of people forget that.
yep, definitely. Meanwhile, we're gonna be seeing a lot of shield break coming out for the side of
Oh, Far
Solar
Mercy.
Eclipse.
Far Mercy and that Junkrat, if they get into a room, they might just, melt. But Far getting taken out early, but getting res pretty early too. I mean, it's always a good res, especially when it's an early pick. But that problem is if anyone else dies, you can't res them now. You used it on a Farah that got picked off way early and
Yep,
got picked
but
off again.
the thing that's winning Fatality these distance is that Fatality decided to play this the long game. They're doing their best to force as many resources out of Solar Eclipse as humanly
Yeah.
possible. Now you can see that
Solar Eclipse had that fight won, that team fight, but they couldn't hold it.
yeah, it's because they were slowly getting just poked down consistently by that Torp Turner, by Brian on that soldier who now has Tac Visor, I might add, and they just couldn't handle it for enough longer. They couldn't close out the fight and get those essential kills. But we're gonna see a massive flank coming out from Sobek to try and change stuff up.
Ooh, got the soldier. That's a good one, especially if you're Farah. That gets rid of their hit scan.
I'm taking the point.
Oh, their Mercy's gone though. That Torb turret taking out everybody, I guess.
Yeah, once again, we're seeing the same problem with Solar Eclipse, where they do get massive advantages early on, but they just can't finish off these fights. Like, if they could just get their focus fire down and finish off these last remaining fights, then honestly, they should be able, they should have this. But they need to do a better job getting that focus fire down to.
What Folded Tiles has done is really good. That's something. It's what my team has been practicing it on Ilios, where pulling a Defran, putting a turret up, and then making the other team flank so they're in the line of sight of the turret and keeping them there.
Yeah, it
That's
does a
kind of
good
what he's
job
done.
at, yeah, it
The
does a
team
good job at
focuses
alerting
on
the
that.
team of it.
Yeah, the team focuses. The enemy team focuses on them, not the turret. So the whole time they're drawing on point, the turret's just putting in damage.
Well, we get to see the defensive ult from Tor being used kind of like as area denial, preventing anyone from coming back out of that choke. It's going to force so many reasons for Solar Eclipse that they're not going to be able to touch point, and Fatality wins.
It's
So very well poke game played by Fatality. For both of these maps, their clear strategy was to just make it as hard as possible for Solar Eclipse to move forward, and that is a beautiful wall.
Here's what I was talking about right there. You get that perfect trance, and they just wait until it's gone.
Yeah, absolutely stellar coming in from. That was Folded Towels,
That
right?
that was, yes, but Fatality, like, looking like they are just men amongst boys in this tournament so far.
Yeah. However, we're not done. Solar Eclipse can still bring it back, and
It is true.
gets-
It's only the first map.
yeah, and although it looks really bad for them, remember a lot of teams look really good on control, like Houston Outlaws, for example. But then randomly throughout the series, they just slowly get like weighed down. So we'll see, especially overconfident. Because in the last series I casted the OCC one stage finals against Hellhounds and Resonance. What happened was that Resonance got overconfident a lot of the times, which ended up dragging the match out to 8th map. They did end up winning it, but they made it way too close than it needed to.
Mm. Uh, I don't remember the teams that I. I don't remember the two teams I last casted, but it was a bit ago, and back when Goats was still alive and well, unfortunately. And I just want to say I am so proud of Blizzard for the way they got rid of Goats. They've been trying to get rid of Goats for months now with soft buffs to anti-Goats characters, but Goats just kept coming back. So now they were able to get rid of Goats by doing something that they've planned on doing since season 3 of the game. It was just, I'm just proud of them for not going out of their way to get rid of Goats by doing something bad or doing something to make the game worse. They've made the game better completely, just entirely.
Yeah, remember what they did with Brig? Remember, Brig was made the hard counter dive and beat it to the ground, and I guess we all know how that ended up.
Yeah, we don't talk about 2016.
No, it was 20. It was 20.
Yes, but 2016 was when dive ruled everything.
Yeah, it was dive started ruling everything after that. After the triple tank meta died down. Remember the original triple tank meta?
Yes, and we all remember Brigitte not only did everything that is wrong with this game can be kind of traced back to Brigitte. Because think of the stun meta. I know you don't want to, nobody does. When during the stun meta, I was a Doomfist main, so trust me, I don't like thinking about it either. But Brig started that. Brig started Goats. They had the idea because, like, if Brig wasn't in the game, they would have never had Goats either. And so, I mean, technically, actually, it's all Tracer's fault, because if Tracer wasn't so overpowered, they wouldn't have had to add Brig to get rid of her, to get rid of Dive.
Yep, so all you Tracer mains out there, remember one thing. You're a bastard, and you know it.
You might be really good at blinking, but by God, you started Goats. You are the worst kind of person.
Yep, you blinked, and all of a sudden there's Goats. I'm sorry, that was a new low one.
We are joking. We are joking.
No, I don't think I can get any worse than the one I did against with Resonance and Hanamura.
What was that?
I said a resonant sleeper.
Oh.
Traveling to
which language? Kappa.
That one was just bad.
Kappa.
Anyway, we are coming into the Vizcaya, and Vizcaya, we can actually see a massive variety of comps coming out. Despot works really well, Goats works extremely well, but also
Obviously.
Dive and Bunker.
And obviously, this is one of the maps that Ryan and Zarya just flourish on. This and everybody's home and native Kings Row as well. And
yep.
Some of those maps that Ryan Zarya can flourish on if played correctly.
All things considered, Vizcaya is the 2 CP equivalent to Kings Row.
That's true. And I would not be surprised to maybe see a Winston played on defense, because if you can play a dive defense well with the Winston and a D.Va, you can kind of keep them at bay for quite a while.
Yeah, kind of is to say the least. If you win that first fight, you can snowball the ult advantage you have with the Primal and the Nano Boost into a spectacular defense.
Ooh.
Like, it's something that's so good it can even work in your ranked games. You should try it out.
A lot of stuff works in my ranked games. I'm only silver.
Except Widow. Don't play Widow.
Oh no, Widow works really well depending on who's playing her, and depending on if I'm hitting her shots or not.
No, you don't want to influence the silvers to go play Widow.
Oh no, I want to influence them so that way I can play against. That way I can play against them and just flex.
No, my plat games.
We're seeing a Arista Hammond. Now I've personally run that tank like duo before, not willingly, but I did it, and it works pretty well. You know, if the Orisa knows how to play with a Hammond.
Yeah, what this comp offers is a lot of. Although it's gonna be interesting, they're gonna be playing all the way up in the choke and frontlining. So
And you know,
I was expecting the Orisa, like part of the comp, to play more on the high ground, where they have a better chance of poking down at the team. Whereas look, Solar Eclipse is gonna run a death ball, and now they're gonna run over the team.
They were running a dive. They had a dive comp all set up. They saw what the defense had and went back and switched.
Yeah.
That shows some pretty good game sense on their part. They knew that dive would not work, so instead of fighting it and giving them ults, they went back and switched. That's really good on their part.
But then again, for Fatality, making them switch might actually win them the fight either way.
It eats up time.
Yeah, not only does it eat up time, but maybe Solar Eclipse isn't prepared to run Deathball here. Now, I highly doubt that because they actually have decent routing here. They're gonna come in with that coalescence to try and get aggressive. All they got killed was the turret, but...
Here comes Tac Visor.
Yeah.
Legal aimbot here.
Yeah, Fatality, they can't really finish off these targets. The sustain coming out from Cooper is too great. And even Cajun, like with the AoE healing, it's not a lot of healing, but it's gonna be enough to get them a lot of value. However, Fatality is keeping Solar Eclipse at bay and forcing them to use resources and wait for resources to come back online, which is gonna buy Fatality members to come back as well. Massive shatter, but it doesn't get enough value. Like the focus fire, I was mentioning how it wasn't good, but their focus fire seems to have had a boom again. Look, they're doing such a good job containing Solar Eclipse, even when it looks like they're about to lose. They just came back. They don't die.
If you want to put a point on their target focus, that Brig and Lucio from the other team, from the attacking team, they didn't even touch the Brig because they focused Lucio down and then went to the Brig.
Exactly.
And that's real target focusing right there. When you don't care about, and well, I would say overpowered, but she's not anymore, but when you don't even look at a Brig anymore because you want to kill a Lucio, that's how you know that you can burst people down at that point.
Yep, different things around the PTR though. Brig is actually very squishy in her dual healer form.
Oh yeah, that's why I didn't want to say overpowered, because she won't be when it goes live.
Yep, definitely. And look at although a lot of resources were forced out of Fatality to stop Solar Eclipse, it forced even more resources out of Solar Eclipse, to where they're not gonna have a lot when they re-emerge from this hut. They're gonna have to wait around so those resources come back online. And
now, I don't understand. I just watched 3 people go after a Hammond instead of going to point. They chased them all the way upstairs and around, and because of that, they couldn't get to point and they didn't survive because the Hammond was poking them. And then when they got to point, still trying to kill the Hammond, they met the rest of the team.
It's like, come on, man! Like, is this quick play?
Like,
is this LFG?
Why are you sending 3 people after a Hammond? The one person who can get away from all of you unscathed.
Yeah, and now they have to deal with a May ult and a Transcendence, some of the 2 strongest defensive ults in the game. And yep, there's that Blizzard getting a ton of value.
There is a combo I have never actually seen done. It's I knew it was a thing, but I've never seen anyone do it. The freeze came out, the blizzard came out, and when the attacking team tried to use their cooldowns to get out of it, Hammond came in and booped them right back into the middle.
Yep, you saw a lot of Holtz and Hammond boops coming in, just keeping them in there. But yeah, but usually, I'm surprised how...
if you can't do a halt hook, you might as well do a halt pile drive.
Yeah, I'm surprised how well Folded played on the Mei there. He usually isn't known for his Mei play. The one that you usually see on the Mei is Trojan Man, who's currently riding the bench right now. He usually comes out to play a lot of Mei, Pharah, Zarya if they're playing goats. Not anymore, of course, but if they had to. So usually,
I've faced Trojan Man. Trojan Man is a pretty competent Pharah. I've faced him before.
Yeah, he is a wonderful person to work with, and surprised not seeing him on the Mei here. But Folded, to all credit due, Folded played extremely well on that Mei there. He was silently having a massive impact with his walls, constantly splitting up Solar Eclipse and forcing them a lot of resources to get through the get through the choke and get to the positions where they want around the major health pack. And I keep talking about like space. I'm sorry, I keep talking about resources, and resources is just everything. It's like cooldowns,
It's
health,
everything. Cooldown, health packs,
space,
alts, your
health.
ability to make space, your ability to make space, the ability to get away. Everything is a resource in this game.
Hell, even mentality. If you anger the enemy team, then that's forcing out
That's one
resources.
resource that they lost because they're gonna not think about what they're doing and they're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, May is the perfect hero for that. And it looks like we're gonna see an emergency bunker coming out from Solar Eclipse with the Bastion. It's not gonna be an original bunker, but it's gonna be something that should favor them well. However, we got Toxic on the Wrecking Ball, who's not really known for that. Usually it's me or Ramza on the Wrecking Ball. So it's gonna be interesting to see Toxic Dano.
I was thinking about why run an Orisa Hammond again. I understand why Hammond. He obviously knew they were going to run Bunker, and what better way to displace a Bunker than play Hammond? He's one of the best characters against Bunker.
It's probably
get everybody off their high ground.
It's probably a situation of they had the strategy made for multi DPS, and they're just looking for something to slot in. So they're just throwing Rums onto the Orisa just because they know he's comfortable with it.
I mean,
that's the only logical thing for it. Otherwise,
Toxic Dano knowing better than to go in and get bursted down, just poking them, making the other team look at him so they don't look at the people on point or the people shooting them in the back because they're focusing on him. And
everyone who's just
that's gonna be game because of that. When you can it's not even disrupting, it's distracting. That's something else Hammond is really good at.
That's
Sombra. You don't even have to get kills. You just have to make them look over their shoulder. That's all you gotta do.
And once again, that's a resource that Fatality was using very well.
It is.
To once again just deny a lot of stuff from getting done for the Solar Eclipse.
If you can play a comp well enough to where they're playing a bunker, which is the bunker is best when they can focus somebody down. But if you're playing a comp where you're just getting poked from all angles and you don't even know who, you can't even get your head on straight and don't know who to focus, then you've gotten in their heads at that point and you've already won. That was an amazing play, really.
Yeah.
Very good.
But if a certain new hero on the PTR was live, then I bet that he would be in there instead of the Orisa there. Just so Fatality would be a little bit more mobile while also being able to focus fire from long range down.
I mean, can I just say how I like Sigma. He's really cool. He's awesome. I haven't played him yet, but I really was hoping for Maga.
Yeah, they said that they were gonna a lot of the abilities that Sigma has, they were gonna give to Maga. However, they didn't feel like it fit his character, so they said that they're gonna hold him back. That's what I've heard at least.
Well, I mean, instead of doing like a black hole for Sigma's ult, they could have done Maga because I mean, the way he was, they could have had him just punch the ground so hard that everybody around him goes upwards. That would have been great.
No, instead of having a black hole for like his suction ability, he just holds out a glass of beer, and like once it fills up, he just splashes it at the enemy.
He just holds up a glass of beer, and all of a sudden, from the other side of the map, Reinhardt there. Reinhardt just charges in.
Yeah, they're probably gonna add him in as an off tank later on.
He's a main tank actually, or are you talking about Maga?
Maga.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think Maga might be a main tank too. The way well, no, he's not a barrier, so or at least I don't think he is. No, yes, he is. He has an arm barrier like Reinhardt does, if I remember correctly.
Oh, he does.
If I remember correctly, yeah.
Oh, then maybe he is a main tank.
And I mean, that's the reason that Sigma is a main tank, even though he only has 400 health, is because he has a 1500 health barrier. And
Yep.
I love his barrier because imagine Symmetra's old shield, old Symmetra's shield, where you could throw it wherever you want, but this time you can stop it and it has 1500 health. Imagine just putting that directly in front of an ulting Pharah.
Yep. And it leaves a lot of room for flexibility with the shield placement.
It
Just
does.
because
You don't have to be there to give your team a shield like you do
Yep.
with Reinhardt.
Yeah, like what you would do with Orisa is you would like shoot it from away, like as you're trying to go back to get past the point.
Yeah, it
With
gives your teammates an ability to shield dance as well.
Yeah. My only concern with Sigma is that he might replace Reinhardt.
I don't think he will because of the fact that he doesn't do as much damage. I think he might actually be able to replace not replace Diva, but you could like play him with Diva because of the fact that his that ability that he has to take damage to that shield or whatever.
It's
That
called budget defense metrics.
yeah, it can eat a bunch of ults and it gives him shield as well. So I mean, imagine having a main tank and an off tank, a Diva and a Sigma. Like if you have any projectile ults, you lose. Like you just don't get them. If those two tanks are any good, you just don't get to use your ults ever.
Anyway, as we're talking about a brand new barrier tank. However, we're going to go to the map that is the home, not the home, but is in the homeland of the original barrier tank, which is Eichenwald.
That's right. The grandfather of main tanks. Everybody's favorite. The beer chugging, 7 foot tall, metal wearing Reinhardt.
Yeah, man, it looks like we're gonna automatically come. We're not gonna see a lot of Reinhardt coming in from Fatality. They're gonna stick with this Orisa, and we're gonna see a pick comp coming out. Except instead of a Hanzo or a Widow, we're gonna see the soldier coming out from Brian, which we've known for him to bring stellar performances on.
That is true. Now, normally with a pick comp, you would run a Roadhog because of halt hook and just because of his one-shot ability with DPS heroes and whatnot. And if he hooks somebody, it forces them directly in front of your whole team. It's really good for it. But this time they're going with the Diva, probably for the DM, just as an extra way of negating any damage.
Yeah, you know what Diva is also really good against? Pharah. Yep. And speaking of which, we're gonna see Pharah being brought out, and interestingly, we're gonna see a Reinhardt Roadhog. This is a comp you don't really see in organized environments a lot.
Not really.
However, it is a very high damage combo that, if used right, it could potentially do some damage. So we'll see how it's used. Gonna have Sobek. They're just trying to poke out, try and get more percentage towards that nano boost. You see Cajun charging that up.
Charging it up.
He's already at 80%. Pretty impressive.
He's gonna get it. He's got it.
But Gibbs has had his ult for way longer.
Oh Jesus!
These supports
I don't think
going.
I've ever seen an Ana get an ult that quickly. I've seen Baptiste do it, but never an Ana.
Yeah, Cajun.
Oh, that was a fire strike snipe right there.
Yeah, we're seeing the high damage. High risk combo coming out for Solar Eclipse. Starting to get a lot more value, but they need to get full to towers.
They need to focus them. That's what they need to do. Right now, it looks like every team fight, even though they won that team fight, it looks like they're not focusing singular targets. There's 2 people focusing this hero, 2 people focusing this hero. And it's like I was saying earlier with this 2-2-2, meta now that you have to do it, everybody seems to be going back to that solo mentality of thinking, oh, I have to carry. And it's affecting everybody. And it's going to take a while to get used to, especially after playing GOATs for so long.
Yeah, 100%. And we're going to see double Sombra coming out for these teams. So this map, it's gonna come a lot controlling the high ground, which might be why they have Boohead on the Diva, as Diva's gonna have a very easy time controlling that high ground. So, and their main goal here is to get Brian up on the high ground. And Brian has just been causing a lot of problems, poking them at multiple angles, getting a lot of damage in. So having two people to help him achieve that goal is going to be extremely helpful for Fatality. However, as I say that, they're getting focused off, and massive shatter coming in from Sobek. But he just decided to charge off the cliff.
Oh, and the D.Va survives. The D.Va had rockets. That was a bad choice right there.
Sobek, what are you doing?
That was a bad choice from Sobek.
What? Whoa. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. Okay, he is going to reset to the Winston, but that's still not what you want to see.
I think we've all done that before, though. I've done that, and sometimes they had boosters, sometimes they didn't. But now, if I charge off the map, it's because I'm trying to switch off.
So right again!
Oh, look at that!
Boohead! Boohead is...
Look, Boohead just comes back and says, you want to try to boop me? I'll boop you. This time, Boohead comes out on top again, though.
Yeah, Boohead's probably laughing to himself like a boo. Because of like how much value he's just been getting because of Sobek's playstyle.
We know who's not laughing about it.
Yeah. This stack visor could be massive from Brian, just because of how bad the focus fire has been. Yep, Sobek goes down, and it looks like Flummox
and Mercy also goes down, but they get Brian, and Blue gets two people with a minefield, with a concussion mine.
If Blue doesn't get those kills, I see Fatality holding it. But that was way too close for them. Anyway, we're gonna see Brian head back onto the Reaper, which we haven't seen in a while. But we haven't seen it in a while.
You don't usually see Reaper at all much past gold. Like above gold, you don't really see him as much.
But then again, when you have a team that's unorganized as Solar Eclipse right now, Reaper could do he could do a lot of damage. You can see Brian's just getting in there, just getting a good amount of value. He does have to disengage, but Focus Fire is still coming in for Sobek, and he just gets absolutely melted. However, the damage might have been done, especially since Ramsey gets hacked on his engage. This is kind of bad news for Fatality. But they still hold the health advantage, which is going to allow them to quickly finish off these targets for Solar Eclipse.
Now, Solar Eclipse will more than likely, most definitely have have EMP, my bad, for this next fight.
But it's a lot that's going to come down to their communication and coordination as far as the dive goes, and maybe even the Riptire and Nano Boost coming in.
Yeah.
But then again, that's what really worries me about Solar Eclipse. Their coordination hasn't been on point, and a lot of this has been down to really good individual play coming out from them.
Reaper's Beyblade comes up online though, and
Boohead
get 2 picks. I mean,
Boohead has been the kryptonite of Solar Eclipse through this entire round. Unbelievable, this dude.
How many times will we see it throughout this OCC? Just
60 seconds
D.Va ults just coming out of like nowhere when there's only 3 people there because the team split up, and still getting all 3 of the people that were there. Well, 2 in his case, but just
it's okay. He killed a fly, so it counts as 3.
Yeah, he more than likely killed anything that was an organism within a 10-mile radius too. But we don't talk about that.
Yeah. Anyway, Fatality, they're still gonna have
Primal Rage coming out, by the way.
Yeah, they're still gonna have a very strong grip on this high ground. They did have to invest Primal Rage into that, but look at the ults. They're gonna have all of their defensive ults and EMP. Oh, the sleep from
beautiful, and that's a big EMP. EMP, and I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that Boohead had D.Va Bomb again. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, this man was a monster, farming that up really quickly. And yeah, Solar Eclipse aren't gonna touch it. I mean, they did get it a lot further than I thought they would.
There's no way. Once those 2 go down, Winston's there though.
No, he's just gonna get absolutely melted.
Using Primal, but yeah, that's a lot of damage coming in.
Yeah, you're right.
Mercy Pocket and a Nano. He's gonna live that for sure.
Oh, but Cation dying.
Maybe not now.
There's not going to be enough sustain to sustain them.
Blue goes down.
Yep, folded towels
Winston
kind of sweeps them out.
apagando las luces.
And there we go. It goes to Fatality. And yep, Rams. Oh wait, no, that's not Silk. That's Rams.
Folded Towels living up to his name, folding that team like laundry, honestly. That's what he did. Actually, really, Boo had lived up to their name. I think he just scared them. I mean, I really do.
Definitely. If I
I
was
think-
Solbeck, I would have some sort of PTSD right now.
Oh, I would too. It's like that PTSD that we all suffered in Ilios Well when when Roadhog was still in the meta.
No, don't bring back the flashbacks. Yeah, I just wanted to play Reinhardt on the map. I don't know why that's so hard to ask for.
I mean, think about how bad I had it when stun meta was the only thing worth playing. I was trying to be a Doomfist man. It was a sad time in my life.
Well, you press E and you swim into the well.
Yeah, with Doomfist most of the time against stun meta, it was just okay. Try to get a little bit of damage before I die because I know they're gonna stun me before I get out. Well, we're seeing Orion Zarya come in for, Ramza and Boohead running Orion Zarya.
Yeah, which makes we're gonna see Clockwork Vendetta come out for actually no, it's not quite Clockwork Vendetta because there's no mercy, but the core of Clockwork Vendetta is gonna be here for Solar Eclipse. But we're gonna see how this
Clockwork
is
Vendetta with an Ana is one of my favorite comps to play. I love playing that comp because I'm a really good Torbjorn.
Yeah, one of the advantages of running Clockwork Vendetta like this, and wait a minute, I didn't even mention the Symmetra coming out here. They're gonna be. They might try to wrap all the way around. But
now that's something.
Oh, I know what they're doing. They're gonna try and TP the left side. And yep, look, Solar Eclipse are in chaos. They're not ready for this at all. And they have to focus down the Mei though. That Mei is being kept up so well. There we go.
That Mei will destroy them.
However, it looks like she's not going to get value in time.
Good Roadhog hook. Now, now I can tell you where I think they went wrong on that because I've tried to do that so many times and.
Whoa, folded.
Oh,
I'm sorry, we have to mention that.
I don't know. I'm sure Folded doesn't want us to, but we are going to. I don't. What were you thinking, Folded? Like Towels, why?
I mean, Fatality is gonna win the fight, but they did not need that EMP.
No,
you know,
they didn't.
I guess it's not too horrible because they're gonna have both of their CC tank ults coming up, but no, they need to win this fight. After all they invested into it, they absolutely need it.
Yeah, an EMP right now, right there would have been huge.
Fatality still might be able to pull it back though.
I don't know. Mei is one of, if not the best stall character in this game, if played correctly.
But Fatality's focus fire has still been despite that botched EMP. The focus fire has been very good.
Oh, there's forcing the trance out. Blizzard comes out too, though. You might want to get out of that.
It catches both of the tank line right as they get their CC ults online. And that shatter, I'm not sure if that shatter's gonna be enough though. Or maybe it will. All they need to take out is that McCree in the tower and the Hog on point.
It would have been better if we'd gotten Nano coming out. They are fighting for this point with everything they have, and they're still in it.
This is unbelievable. I'm actually losing words.
Now, we've been talking about how well Fatality have been playing this whole game, but Solar Eclipse showing signs of greatness, just keeping themselves in it.
So what is this?
Pure will.
What is this Chengdu stall? Like, why is it last so long?
This is pure will at this point.
And it looks like Solar Eclipse, they're gonna win this fight.
Every time it looks like they're losing, every time it looks like they're gonna lose a team fight, somebody walks through that door coming back from spawn and they win.
That is criminally bad for Fatality.
How long did they just stall that point? From the very beginning of the map till now.
They stalled it out for for 2.5 minutes. That's absolutely insane.
That is great.
Now Fatality, they still have a lot of resources, so this is gonna be their last shot. Like they had in between spawns, they had to be taking the in and out. And they need to know that this is the shot. This is the map they need to win. No, Ramza gets
They
picked
lost
up.
Ramza, but they traded for an Arissa. That's good enough.
Oh, it's a clusterfuck.
Oh, there's folded towels going away. They could have used an EMP for this. Here comes. Oh, apparently it is high noon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Fatality need to get out. They need to get Boohead out of there and try their
They
best to make
do.
something happen. But Boohead
do.
dying.
At that
That
point,
might-
you put yourself into a corner with a Roadhog hook or an Anna on the other end. That was all you had.
10 seconds.
Yep, and that spells game over. Although
Here we
folded
see that
towels,
folded towels on point. Gonna sit there probably until less than 3 seconds to get the overtime.
you can't decloak too late though. There
I
we go, and he
still-
immediately gets
He
that
instantly
hammer.
dies.
But someone else
Aha!
needs to touch in time. They need to touch. No, it doesn't happen.
Ramza would have touched, but Arissa used her fortify to make sure he couldn't go past her.
There we go.
That was good. Good game sense on that.
Play.
Yep, Flummox trying to get some redemption after
I,
those first
I
two
honestly hope that this is the wasted oh no.
No, it is.
I was really hoping that he got like 2 or 3 kills right before that, just so I could watch it again, so I could try to figure out maybe what he was thinking at the time. Like, because I can't wrap my head around that. Now I've done that
Yeah.
before. All of us have done that before, but
Yep. But
that
I
was
love
back,
that.
when we were all before any of us had a star on our profiles.
Yep. That could just come down to overconfidence. Like, I'm not just talking about that EMP. I'm talking about that entire like 2.5 minute fight in general. Like Fatality, they probably were confident that they could clutch out that fight. They could win it no matter like the disadvantages that they had. Instead of going for the regroup, they thought that they had the.
Here's what I'm thinking: that stall and that messed up EMP were the same thing, which is the lack of not lack of game sense, but like lack of
Awareness.
yeah, that's it. Thank you. My guess is because the main reason anybody normally wastes their ult, especially EMP, is because you don't have, like, you're not using your awareness, like you didn't have it at that very moment. Just, I don't know, weren't thinking about it, and you probably thought your whole team was there. And you're the only one there, and I guarantee that stall was the same way. I bet that the solar eclipse my bad, but yeah, they didn't have the awareness to realize that, okay, there's 2 people left on spawn, but they've been holding here long enough that there's 2 people coming back from spawn.
No,
So
they definitely.
They
sorry,
never
I'm sorry to
once.
cut you off here, but
It's all
I
good,
definitely-
man.
I definitely think they knew. It's just that I feel like it's kind of all right. Yeah, their awareness was definitely low, but I don't think it was because like they
But they didn't pay attention to them until after they got in their face.
I feel like they knew that they had the disadvantage, but they thought that they were mechanically good enough to pull it out. When really, what they should have done was they should have backed out, wait a few seconds, let everyone regroup, and then push back in.
Yeah, because both sides were trickling in, but the defending team, when they were getting more kills and more picks
Like
with their trickle, I guess you could say. Their trickle was slightly bigger because they were dying just a little bit less. And those who didn't die were holding just long enough for somebody to come back.
Yeah, shout outs to let's go. Shout outs to Sobek on the Roadhog. He had an amazing stall on the Roadhog, managing to stay alive through that. I think he died once. If not, he didn't die at all, trying to stall the point out for the rest of his team. Like if he went down, then Fatality wouldn't. If he went down, then the point would have been lost because he was the one that was mostly contesting the points, and without him without him on the points, then it would force, like, say, the McCree out to co-contest.
And I'll give some props to that McCree. That McCree did very well at, if he found a Sombra, the Sombra was flashbanged and then double tapped in the head. That was very good. Actually, I saw a McRight click, which I'm not proud of that because now with his recent buffs, McLeft click is better.
I mean, it's probably just muscle memory. You're still used to pulling that right click instead of the left click. You're not used to the left click being
Yeah.
so much faster.
Yeah, that's true. But now with that faster shot, there's enough time now to get 2 headshots before the stun wears off instead of hoping to get it the second one right after it wears off. So very helpful. And yet, even though with that, in silver, there are still plenty of make right clicks, and I still get very upset about it.
Anyway, we're going to move on to Dorado, which Dorado is generally a map where on the second point dive is very where on the second point dive is usually the main thing on that map on that point. However, on point A and point C, yeah, you can play dive works really well on point.
Well, on first point on defense, personally, I like to run and I like to see a bunker with a sniper. Like if you have a good enough sniper, or if you have 2 snipers that are good enough, you can get a Hanzo and a Widowmaker, and if they're both good enough, and or you could do a Widowmaker Bastion or Hanzo Bastion, whichever one,
or even a Junkrat.
I like stuff like that. Junkrat's not a sniper, but yeah, Junkrat's really good with a bunker, though.
But he's like good with the. It becomes more of a pick comp at that point.
It becomes more of a hey, Bastion, I'll help you break this shield, so that way you still have over half your clip to deal with Reinhardt.
Oh, look at this! We have our first triple support of the night. This time coming in from the side of Solar Eclipse, which I wasn't expecting, because Fatality has shown that they have better ghosts than them in past matchups. So
my question now is, who's playing more DPS, Moira or Brig?
Probably Moira, because she can survive forever.
Anyway,
we're gonna have the Wrecking Ball coming in right away, and look how much attention he's forcing away. It's gonna allow Fatality.
And he Reinhardt got hacked because of that.
Yeah, it buys so much space for Fatality to just do their job and move in. Although Folded getting picked off is not really a good start to that, especially when before he's been doing such a good
goes down. Now, see, that's what I was saying earlier. Why bother chasing down a character that is faster than almost every other character base speed when he's in ball form? Why? You can't catch him. Don't even try. You're turning your back on his team, and that's what he wants you to do.
Yep, the only time you go to focus a Wrecking Ball is if there's either no one else to focus or if
he's stunned.
Yeah.
There's a couple heroes that are like Wrecking Ball in that, Doomfist as well. If you get stunned in some way as Hammond or Doomfist or Tracer, you're done. That's just how it is.
Anyway, after that fight, let's go.
That was a very quick fight.
Yeah, where Solar Eclipse kind of rolled over that. That's one of the disadvantages of swapping to a bunker. Not even a bunker. It's a goat scum. Solar Eclipse is playing Snows. Basically, one of the disadvantages to swapping off of goat.
Oh wow, they actually are playing goats.
One of the disadvantages is that your ult economy is going to be in ruins after swapping late. So you see, there's so many ults on the side of Solar Eclipse to just snowball their advantage. All they had to use last fight was Coalescent, and now they're gonna have Grab, Shatter, Rally, and Blizzard to work with here.
Anytime you have to switch, like before you even capture first point, you're just giving the other team the ult advantage. Unless you also have 0%, you're giving it to them.
Nerf this.
Well, that bomb's going to buy a ton of space, though. However,
I don't know what that charge was from Sobek.
It got value at least.
No, he tried to charge the Baby Diva and hit the Carter.
Oh, alright.
There goes Brian. Toxic Dano's going down. Actually, that'll be a pretty good stagger. You gotta wait for Zarya in goats. That's your DPS. You can't do much of anything without a Zarya.
And the big problem for Fatality here is that Solar Eclipse, despite what they're showing earlier, they're showing very good ult discipline here on Dorado, as they haven't used any of their ults. Now, Fatality have built up the ults of their own, but they still don't have the advantage that Solar Eclipse does have.
I mean, like I said,
that is a massive shower coming in from Ramza. It's going to prevent so much getting done.
Now, they threw out a Blizzard to counter it, but, I mean, that was a perfectly timed blizzard, but that was still just great shatter. Had it not been for that blizzard, that probably would have been nearly a team wipe.
Probably.
That was big.
No, that definitely would have been a team wipe if that
See,
blizzard didn't come out.
now look at how well they're doing now with goats. It's like I've said it twice now. We've all been playing goats for months, and it shows. They're automatically doing 80% better as soon as they switch to goats. Like,
Yeah, you can tell that Fatality, they haven't been doing a lot. They haven't spent a lot of the time rehearsing goats, just because they're already readying themselves up for 2v2 lock.
yeah,
To the point where they're not prepared for it.
yeah. Because goats. If you stop playing goats for so much as a week, you will not remember. Like you'll have to take another week to get used to it again.
By the way, I like how we're talking about Fatality not doing too well on goats, and they just clean up the fight.
Yeah, that's true. And
It's
we were
a
talking
caster
about
curse.
how they were doing so well on goats, and then all of a sudden, Fatality. Yeah.
Yep, it's the caster curse.
Well,
Anyway.
actually, it might be that Hammond. If they're trying to play brawl comp of goats, which is practically a death ball within a death ball, and you knock them away from each other, well, that's a good way.
There we go. This is Fatality's plays, but Toxic Dano, Wrecking Ball, easy clap. But that's at least how it's been for so far for this map.
Yes, it has. Toxic Dano has been doing wondrous things with him and making me proud. Oh, that was a good charge, actually. Getting rigged.
There you see the awareness like kind of falls apart in some like exciting, like in some exciting moments. Like the awareness kind of just falls apart for Fatality. Like it happened.
Yeah, once again, Florida
Tower
Tao's using. Yeah, once again, he using an ult that. The only reason I can think of that he would use that ult is to get a new mech back, and
They were trying to.
You don't do that in goats. That's bad.
They were trying to do Shatter Bomb. However, people got picked up early, but Fatality went away with the plan anyway. Even though the Brig, who is an essential part of the comp, got picked up. And that Blizzard is gonna close out the. Actually, no, Fatality are gonna bring us back. They did a very good job evading that ult.
That was very well. They get the grab. Here comes the beat. Counters the grab, and Rally's coming out too. That rally might just be what they need. They took Flumox out in the corner. It's going to be a good stagger.
Yep,
It's not really a stagger, but it's a good kill, and nevertheless, like I said, Zarya is your damage.
Yep,
Nope.
Despite how lackluster Fatality was on the goats, something that you cannot deny is that their focus fire is still looking pretty well.
Ooh. Take
And
that
that's
back.
really showing here. However, they decided to play the Pharah, and
Yeah,
that's
I was
why
about
you
to
need the
say.
Pharah. That's why you need the Pharah and the Mercy.
Yeah.
It's because Pharah, who's out in the open, doesn't have enough sustain against. Like, even though Diva and Hammond aren't a real actual hit scans, they're still enough to really trouble a opponent.
Yeah, they aren't hit scan DPS, but they have hit scan weapons, and a good Ana can literally just out sightline a Pharah any day.
And if you don't believe us, then just watch Vancouver versus Valiant and watch Kareev just completely pop off
Yeah.
on Dorado.
And if you don't believe me, I'll introduce you to my friend Scruff.
This will only hurt for
Yeah. I've never beaten him in a 1v1 if he plays Ana. Ever. No matter what hero I play, he always gets me.
Play Sombra, easy one.
No, he killed me. As soon as I went to hack him, he flicked and...
Oh, we got
Slap
blue.
me.
We got blue on the
early
Junkrat.
one. That's a good one. Briggs
Yeah,
always
and Blue's been looking pretty good on the Junkrat whenever he's played it. Like, he looked good on it on Eichenwald.
Now that ult from Toxic Dano made me sad. I have practically one-tricked him, and since he came out, just because he's so much fun to play and I love him. The only way to truly get as much possible value out of his mines as you can is to use them while you're in air and then pile drive. So that way people can't get away from them. And when they land, the mine's set up at the same time. Oh, watching that hurt my soul. But
Tyre's going to come out. This
You can
tire,
just
it's
wait
gonna be
out.
pretty easy to. However,
Oh,
Gibbs,
got it. Gibbs took it out.
and there we go. EMP comes in. It's a 6-man. That's a nasty one. And they have to finish up this now.
Gibbs.
I don't see how Fatality
Here
doesn't
comes
finish.
Diva Bomb coming out. Blocked easily.
There you go. Toxic finish. Massive nade is landed,
on,
but
they can get it in.
Not gonna be enough follow up though.
No, but I mean, you can always spin to win with the Hammond.
Yeah, there's physically not enough room for Fatality to spin to win it here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could do that or do what he did and put the mines in the only spot they can be. Now, I honestly, I love that.
Yes, sir. Flumix was going out to Wrecking Ball, but you gotta remember the spawn timer extends by a considerable amount once you reach that phase of the fight. So you saw it took them like 20 years for Flumix to finally spawn in.
Now, I loved that Gibbs destroying that Junkrat. Like, that right there, I mean, now I know why he's called Gibbs. It's just like NCIS now, I swear. He's got the same aim and everything.
No, I wish it was like Overwatch League where we had the replay.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Like that's something that needed to happen.
That's great. Last time, one of the times I played comp not that long ago, a couple days ago when I played, or a couple weeks ago, I mean, I was playing Hanzo and they had a Junkrat, and I don't know why that guy was playing Junkrat because he wasn't very good. I destroyed his tires 6 times throughout one half of the match.
Damn, that's something that that kind of sucks.
Oh, it sucks for him. I was baffled. I was baffled. I've never destroyed that many.
Although credit where credit's due, he managed to build up 6 tires.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't really give him the credit for that. I would, take away the credit from my tanks for doing that. Because they were playing out of my line of sight, so he would just get in their face, and I couldn't take him out. Because if I went down there, I'd be dead too.
Yeah, definitely.
No, we're seeing. Well, it is technically a bunker, but no Torb and no Bastion.
Oh, that's a sick.
Oh wow!
From Toxic Dano. No, we definitely needed a replay of that.
Oh man, I really wish.
And then we have Gibbs cleaning up. I swear, this guy is a janitor, man.
I swear.
Oh, we have the dive coming in. Oh,
Winston, bad idea. Don't know why you tried it. That'll teach you next time, though.
Do we have Hoppa out here? Like Toxic Dano's doing a very good job, kind of controlling these dives. Like he's doing a good job controlling the dives, and like he's leaving that to his which is allowing Fatality to really trust the anti-dive, and because they can trust anti-dive and Toxic, it allows Brian and Folded Towels to focus more on spamming the main part of the team.
Well, you can
However,
always...
it looks like Solar Eclipse have learned the error of their ways, and they're gonna swap onto more of a slower comp.
You can always trust anti-dive because, like right there, because when your Winston dives in by himself, at that point, at that exact moment, you have literally failed as a dive comp. As soon as that happens, because that is not how you play dive comp.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you see a Winston charging in by himself, you know that they have failed in dive comp, and you can trust your anti-dive.
It was at this moment that Winston knew.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we're gonna have the Tech Visor coming in for Brian, and it's just gonna be cleanup, like Solar Eclipse. Like it doesn't even feel like the fight has even started. It feels like it's just one continuous mid fight.
Now they used an ult they didn't need to. They didn't really need that Tech Visor, but I guess it's just a good way to secure it. I guess I can see that.
Now here's what the Tech Visor does. It forces the Far Mercy all the way back and out of position.
Now that's true, but it also lets them know that you just used it as well. And that you don't have that legal lock on, that legal aimbot anymore.
But then again, what else are you gonna use it for?
That's true. Now we see a Nano Ryan coming out now. That used to be a horrifying sight. Bad enough to give people nightmares.
Oh, the barrage from Trent Ellis.
Barrage getting 2 off the bat. Flumix just popping off on Roadhog. I want to see it. There it is.
A lot of that was space opened up by the front line of Solar Eclipse, and then meanwhile while
now
everyone was
we're
distracted
coming
by
out to him. Go ahead.
and then while everyone was distracted by like what's called by like Sobek and Flummox in the front line, it left a lot of room for Trinalthus to just sneak up
Now-
behind and get a massive barrage onto them.
Now, I'm not sure I agree with this Winston Hammond. That's kind of a divey comp, and the comp that the attacking team is running is kind of an anti-dive right there.
What they want to do with these dive heroes is they just want to control the high ground, which makes sense.
It makes
However-
sense, but
But this means that it's going to force the Winston to play very passively. Luckily for them, Ramza is known for playing very passively and very decisive. However,
Blue goes down. That was a good Helix rocket right there.
yeah,
Now,
definitely.
You have a. I was about to say you have a Pharah floating in front of you.
There you go. Brian's just destroying everyone here. It has to force Solar Eclipse back. Like Sobek needs to regroup ASAP. But they're gonna continue to push the cart. It's just gonna stagger the Reinhardt. Yeah. Like that fight was over like a good amount, like a few seconds ago, and
Now-
yet Solar Eclipse still decided to continue with it. I don't understand that.
The Fatality do have the ult advantage here. They have won the ult economy. They have won this ult economy. Here comes an early one.
What is
Well,
that
Blue-
barrage?
I don't know what that barrage was, but Blue
What?
gets taken out by Florida Towel's tire. Flummox going out of mech and then going down entirely.
I'm sorry, Trianthal is pulling a Nene barrage. I mean, it's not quite a Nene grab, but still, it's close enough.
Triumphalis goes down, Cooper goes down. Now
So
they got the early pick, they got the first pick during that fight, but then I mean everything just I guess went down. They were spaced out enough to make it easy for you to get dived, even though you have anti-dive characters, and that's just bad positioning at that point. Like you gotta worry about that, especially against these guys. We know that these teams will take advantage of that, and they will punish you for it.
There you go, Blue
Blue
taking out the soldier with that tire is actually a very good decision. Which is
Primal
gonna
Rage
allow
Winston
Trianthal-
going for a Pharah,
Yep, he's trying to. I'm just trying to pull a Miro out here.
trying to swat the Mercy out of the air.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be successful. However, Toxic Dano was able to pick it up for him.
And Gibbs showing why he should be a Widowmaker again. Honestly, with the aim that that Gibbs has, he should be playing Widowmaker. I think.
He should be playing soldier.
I want to see him play McCree. That's what I want. Oh, Gibbs. Gets
Oh,
taken out.
of course. Right as we talk about how good Gibbs has been playing, he gets picked off.
All right.
Caster curse once again. Let's go.
Time to start talking about Sobek again. See if we can.
30 seconds.
Actually, no. After what he went through with Eichenwald, he deserves a break.
There's
As
that.
I was talking about it, as I was talking about it, he whiffed his shatter.
That happens
Goes
again.
down to folded towels though. Flummox gets res. Blue goes down. Here comes.
There you go.
Oh, I was gonna
No,
say.
Strength stun. No, Ramza took him down, and yeah,
I was gonna say.
Toxic Dano has just. Sorry.
Yeah,
Toxic Dano's just been getting more value on this Wrecking Ball. You can see he's just going in there, causing a lot more disruption than Flummox has been. And although Flummox has been a decent Wrecking Ball, like Toxic Dano has just been besting him by far through this entire match.
I mean, with Wrecking Ball, with Hammond, it is all about knowing the different tips and tricks about his gameplay. That's all it is. Did you know that you can go ball form, go from the back of a payload, like one of those cart payloads, and roll up it, jump off the top, and have enough height to slam?
Yes, every Wrecking Ball man knows that.
No, they don't. Trust me, I've met a couple. I've taught a couple people that say they're Hammond mains when they should be saying I want to be a Hammond main because they don't actually know anything.
They popped into it. They popped into a Yeetle stream for like 2 seconds, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm a Hammond man now."
No. They're those type of people are the ones who say they're Hammond mains, but they've never watched Yeetle. every like actual Hammond main or every person who's been playing a lot of Hammond can tell you that one of the ways to get better with Hammond is to watch Needle play Hammond. Half of the tricks I know to confirm picks and to surprise people in different rollouts and
Although I know one person who does not watch Yeedle and is still.
huh.
It's
If you say
Yeedle.
Needle, I was about to say if you oh, I called it. Oh god. But no, like a lot of the stuff I do and the movement stuff I know how to do came from watching Needle. And yeah.
Yeah, especially you can see you can tell Toxic had a better understanding of the hero. Like
Mhm.
you saw if you were paying attention to his gameplay, he was doing a lot of wall jumps, which is basically a tech with Hammond where you take a corner or you take a wall that's slightly slanted. You can do this with 90-degree walls too, but it's a bit harder. And if you time it right, you can actually get a lot of height off of it, which is enough for a pile driver. Super useful tech, and you saw Toxic Dino using it to a very good degree.
Now that is the one trick with Hammond that I can only do on 2 maps.
I do it all the damn time.
There's only because I know there's only certain walls you can do it with, but there's only 2 spots that I know I can do it consistently. I don't
You
know
can
where
do
the
it
other
with
ones
every
are.
wall. You can do it with
Um,
every wall in the game.
I can only do it with a corner on Volskaya and Nepal Inner Sanctum, the left room. I can go from there. I can jump up the wall to get to the ledge,
Gotcha.
which is really helpful if one of my teammates needs help up there. They always expect a Hammond to come out of the room. They don't expect him to come up from it.
Well, if you wanna practice some Hammond, I recommend you go to Hanamura, and if you go into Connector, there's some slanted walls that are very good for learning Hammond. But hey, we've been speaking about Hammond a lot, and you know Hammond, like he always talks about like how he likes like warm, like dry climates, and we're in one right now. We're in Oasis,
It's true. It's true.
and we're gonna be in University.
You
Now,
know,
this is a map where we commonly see a lot of death balls, but we also see a lot of bunker setups trying to slowly wear each other down. As the team that usually gets the map, the team that usually caps it first is usually the team that goes on to win the series most of the time.
it's true. And normally for me, if I'm not playing Hanzo on this map, I'm probably playing Doomfist because I can play point, and if they're on point, there's nowhere that I cannot get them into a wall with a rocket punch. So that's why I like playing Doomfist if I'm not playing Hanzo on this map.
5,
But
4,
Yeah,
I think like,
definitely.
that May is a really good pick coming out for Trentloss. That's a really good choice.
Yeah, May
May
does
is
a
very
very good job about walling off the chokes. And hell, even if someone gets to the high ground, you can wall off the window if you really want to, as you're often contest the other one.
I better
Anyway,
see.
we're gonna
I
see
better
the
see.
Hong
Oh,
Kong
out of
and-
mech already.
And
That's
that
what a shotgun to the face goes to you.
And despite how we're praising Triumphalis on the May here, that wall actually helped Fatality because it allowed Boohead to get back nice and safe.
I did.
In addition to that, the Flummox gang demeched. Yeah, it's gonna be an immediate regroup coming in for Solar Eclipse.
I was about to say, as they were walking on, I better see some hook combos, but
It wasn't even a
Boohead-
halt combo. It was
no,
just a hook combo.
Boohead doesn't need a halt.
Hamza!
Oh my
Holy
god! Look at
With
you!
a 3K halt, that is absolutely insane.
Look at you!
And you know what? It's really hard to.
I
even if
thought
you made-
I was good at Orisa. Teach me.
Guys, is this Muma? I think we found Muma, everybody.
Look, we found Evil Toaster. I swear, he's lied to us.
There we go.
Oh,
That was actually a very nice wall. However, that was
good.
not very good communication. They used the bubble and the wall. But getting a pick on the folded towels is a very good start either way.
Looks like Boohead got that great pick on the Diva at first, and now just can't hit the hook now. Cannot hit that Winston. Cyberspace going down. Immortality getting down almost as soon as it goes out. It doesn't even matter. They weren't even sitting in the Immortality field, though.
Yeah, one of them.
Flummox eats the other immortality field.
Yeah, one of the reasons why Buhead wasn't able to get as much value there was because they didn't have folded towel on the flank, kind of providing pressure from another angle. However, once it comes back, him and Brian start to clean up the point. Oh, and yeah, Brian's not doing anything. It's all the turrets. Turrets are the MVP
Yeah, I
of
mean,
this map.
we all like to complain about death rooms when she had 6 of them, but we all forget just how much, like, because her turrets do more damage than they used to, and now she can put them anywhere.
And also,
Like-
they slow them down, which is good against heroes like Winston, who needs
Yeah.
as much mobility as
You
possible.
get 3 of those turrets on, like, Tracer, she's dead. She dies. She can't get away in time. Unless she
Or
can...
Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
Bullhead
Unless-
got 2 kills,
Oh!
3 kills for Bullhead, he's been looking absolutely insane this series. Probably the MVP candidate, outside of maybe folded towels.
They need to take out that May and that Winston. Like I said, that's why, too. Blizzard, news coming.
There we go. And you can just see the defensive ult for Fatality. They used beautifully, although the bomb wasn't necessary. Well, no, that wasn't their bomb. That was that was Solar Eclipse's bomb.
Say, that was a last-ditch effort right there for a bomb.
And you saw that once Flummox got back in his mech, it just immediately got incinerated. That's how you can tell Fatality's focus fire is on point today.
It was very
And
true.
we're going to head into Gardens now. Gardens isn't as good for bunker comp, but it can still work very well. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a bit worried for Fatality if we end up going to City Center. City Center is gonna be really good for Pharah, but it's not gonna be a good map for pick comps at all.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Because
say Symmetra, and then I was gonna say, have you ever put 3 turrets inside the thing in the middle?
What? Nah, Symmetra is good on every map.
Exactly.
No, she's not.
It's just no. Yes, she is. It's just that nobody plays her anymore, so we've all forgotten. Just kidding.
Yeah,
No,
pick up
if you
Symmetra
pick
in your ranked
throw.
games. Let's go.
Yeah. No, don't throw. Please don't. Don't be that person.
Yes, pick her. I want easy elo.
Freelo, boys. But they're not even focusing the fair right now. I don't know why you wouldn't be.
Oh, there's the focus onto the Pharah.
Laura, thank you.
Immediately melted down, and Ramza comes in, cleans house. Look at this guy. Give him a broomstick.
I thought they
Just-
weren't supposed to be able to hear me, but they just did what I asked them to on, like, as soon as I asked them to.
What, stream sniping confirmed? Question mark.
These guys are like the best kids to have over at a sleepover. They do exactly what I asked them to. I swear. I asked them to put their dishes in the sink, and they did. That's what happened. That's right. Farah's just dirty dishes. And Zenyatta's the dishwasher, I swear.
The disc washer.
Yeah. You can't be a dishwasher, that'd be kind of racist. Because he's a machine.
Looks like folded
Oh.
towels. His towel ripped on the dish that you were talking about.
Flummox goes over to the Doomfist and then instantly swaps off. after-
Transalis actually getting massive
Oh.
value in here. You see, he's diving in with that Pharah. They
That
need
is
to
very
get
good.
the immortality field though. Like, why aren't they focused? They need to, if they want to get any more value, then they need to get the immortality field. And it buys enough time for Fatality to start swinging this fight back. That is criminally bad.
Right there, they didn't even look at the Farah. They haven't been looking at her. Look, I told you to focus her earlier. You got to do it again. A Far Mercy will just destroy you if you can't take her out.
However, here's the thing: Fatality.
There it is. Legal
There we go.
aimbot. And there comes the res. Because he didn't stay to confirm it.
However, here's the thing. Okay. All right, someone had to call out that res though, and people need to come back and help.
Well, when you know they've got a
here's the
Far
thing,
Mercy,
there's no
you
tanks.
gotta stay for like half a second to watch for the Mercy.
But here's the thing, though. There's no contest coming in for Solar Eclipse. It's because most of their team has just been dying to the front line of Ramza and Bullhead.
Farah could touch, but as soon as Farah touches that ground, that happens.
Yep, exactly. And it's gonna be up to Cooper to
Now,
contest this for as long as possible. Honestly, the only
hope
hope for Solar Eclipse
Up,
in this
spin the
matchup,
win.
he's gonna get the res up.
gets the res on the Junkrat there. Junkrat goes. Junkrat did not get caught in that graviton. He got res. He was able to walk around the pillar. He walked too far around the pillar and got stuck into the grab anyway.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen.
I
Ladies
wish
and
I could clip
gentlemen,
that.
it's 4-1, and Fatality has won. They are going to BlizzCon. Let's go, everybody.
I'm going to Hollywood. Oh, here it is, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
the big
somebody
boy.
signed that. God.
Come on, get this man on. Get this man on Washington.
You are the queen of Orissas. Now I say that because last time
Thank you, but I still have much to learn.
no, Boo had left.
1 second.
A friend of mine messaged me because of what I said about Zenyatta. Apparently, he thinks it's really funny that I said I called him a dishwasher instead of a dishwasher because it'd be racist because he's a robot. Oh, God. I really was such a good fool. I wish I could do that. I'd do that on Well, but I could never do it on Oasis. And I really like how... I can't talk about that one. Make me laugh. Giving soap back. He will forever have PTSD of that icon ball. I don't think he can pull them in here until such time, unless they are in a... Oh, there we are. I thought they were.
There we go.
Ah, here we go.
All right.
I didn't,
And
think,
we are back.
I didn't think he'd be able to figure anything. Yes, we are back now. I wish Boohead was here. Ah.
All right. So first of all, After first of all, OCC one championship. OCC two stage championships, and now you guys are moving up to OCC one. First of all, how do you guys feel?
Feel absolutely amazing right now.
Yes, congrats for pretty much getting to basically what amounts to the OWL of this tournament versus contenders. Like you guys are like the Vancouver Titans of this tournament. I said that before the match started, actually.
A little upset we lost the one map though, but it's definitely good to
Nah, it's okay.
win.
It's okay.
But yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
All right, so did you have any doubts heading into this map at all, or were you fully confident that you would just roll and smoke Solar Eclipse like you just did?
I feel like we operated most of this match off of just pure confidence. It could show we showed a lot of that in the fights that we lost. We pretty much went into every fight head first, full confidence. What happens happens, and luckily it worked out more often than it didn't. So
I feel like I'm never confident. Like I don't know if that's just main tank because you have to rely on everyone else, but I'm like, let's just hope my team can pull this through.
I knew you guys were just like exuding confidence when on Volskaya there's a Lucio and a Brig, and nobody even touched the Brig. Everybody only touched Lucio until he died, and then Brig.
Yeah, that point defense, I feel that was our best. Like I feel like we
when-
dropped a couple people there too, and we still.
It takes cojones bigger than freaking Torbjorn's biceps to just ignore a Brig, and yet you did it.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and we got to talk about that stall on Eichenwald. We have to.
No, that was.
I know,
Can you walk us through what? Can you walk us through what happened there?
Yeah, I want to know. I want to talk.
On attack, like us not capping.
Yes.
Yeah, that like 2.5 minute stall that the other team did.
I think it was like 3-2 or 2-2. So I'm like, we can still win this. And I'm like, I think we got the spawn advantage. But no, I don't know, we were definitely not focused. Like the Roadhog was just a menace behind us, and we weren't really focused on that. And they were taking out our Baptiste each time, which kind of made
See, what
everything else
I
crumble.
thought it was, like what I felt like it was, which you can give me, tell me if I'm right or wrong here. I felt like it was like kind of what you were saying. You said you thought you could win, and then nobody was paying attention to the door because, as you guys were winning the team fight, but then 2 heroes left would stall long enough for 2 more to come back, and then they would kill one of you or something like that. By the time one of you get back, you'd be still at 3, but you'd kill 2 of them, so it'd be 3-2 again. You're winning, and then but they're holding long enough, 2 more come back, that kind of thing. It was just over and over.
I felt like it was 2 or 3 too many winnable callouts. Like after the third time saying winnable when we were just constantly 3v3 or 2 at 2 point. But it was also a lot of confidence that like everyone on the team thought that someone else was going to take the guy. Like when there was an Ana with no health, and then we would switch the call when she was at 10% health to be like, well, someone's got her. And then we would just bounce between targets. But that hog was definitely a big issue there.
All right, and one last question: Who do you think is your personal MVP of the match? There were clearly a ton of people on the team that absolutely popped off at moments, but who would you say is the MVP?
If we're talking in terms of just pure value, I think Ramza
Don't say
personally
you.
on the Orisa. I'm not gonna say myself, dude. Who does that? I would say Ramza just because like a lot of the points where we were down one person, like he kept himself composed, dropped himself, like especially on Orisa, he dropped himself back, made the calls. We stabilized ourselves, like especially on Nepal at the start, we were down 2 people on the first point, and we managed to just back up and recontest before there was a cat.
That was great, by the way.
So he definitely, for every fight as the main tank, he really did take the role of just keeping everyone in check where we are and making sure what we're doing is the right thing to do.
Do you have either of you, Ramza? Do you have a comment on Boohead's gameplay? Because he was that's who I voted for MVP. Because I mean, on Eichenwald gets charged off the map by Reinhardt, just uses boosters to get away. That Reinhardt, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Sobek.
Sobek, thank you. Comes back as Winston, gets onto high ground, and Boohead literally just flies up from underneath him and boops him off the map.
It's funny. No, I don't know. I don't
That's
really
great.
notice what he's doing.
And then
but
the first thing that happens on Oasis, Boohead hooks a diva, puts diva out of mech.
yeah, his hog's real nice. I don't know. I'm always
good.
worried about it, but he always looks really nice. I don't know. I'm just afraid that I get focused too much kind of thing with a hog, but
Yeah, I
he
get
always
that.
exceeds expectations on hog especially.
See, because I don't know him. I don't know what his comms are like or anything. That's why I wanted to hear your guys' comments on it. 'Cause I
Really,
just go by what I say.
he's the
I don't
best
see
player ever when it comes to the whole concept of holding W. Like when he's got fire underneath him and he's
He
getting
is a
pushes,
literal.
he's
He is a
literally
literal.
unstoppable.
He is a bumper in Roadhog form. That's what
Oh
you're
yeah,
saying.
absolutely.
That's
He's
perfect.
a WP materialized.
Look, I would be horrified if I saw that, wandering mass of blobbiness, shuffling at me too.
You can get
That'd
him
be
into trouble
horrifying.
sometimes though, so I always have to find a balance with him.
Holding W key can always get you in trouble, no matter who good you are, if you hold it too hard
Yeah.
or at the wrong time.
Boohead has managed to make every hero he plays a dive hero. He's very
I
much a
do.
dive hog.
I think he's also like very clutch when it's just like him and another person. I feel like he always wins like the last 1v1 kind of thing.
I did really enjoy how on Dorado you guys you played a Winston Hammond. That's kind of like two divey-ish tanks, and they had 3 anti-dive heroes, and you guys still got it. Like you guys still took them out on like second point. You guys did really well as 2 dive tanks against 3 anti-dive heroes because like they weren't holding together, and it just made it that much easier for you guys to dive them. At least that's what I felt like from what I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
after
know.
first point.
Spaced out just so much.
So after first point, I swapped to the Hammond just to get back to point, and I kind of just stuck on it for a bit just to get rid of my ult and stuff. But then I realized that they kept themselves super tight regardless of whether or not they were in a fight.
You mean
So
defense though, right?
defense or
Or
offense?
I thought you said defense.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
on
you're on
defense?
defense.
Yeah,
I guess
focus
I
then.
well, so I mean on attack is
cares
when I
about
really realized that like one boop just splits them apart completely, and then we can just do a good job of just target calling, and then whatever person's just left out just gets obliterated. So we kind of just exploited the fact that like they like to play clumped up as much as possible.
The best way I've ever heard it put was if Hammond knocks somebody off the high ground, don't tell me who to focus. Just focus whoever's in front of you. Because whoever's in front of you is in front of me.
I think their
So-
comp was kind of strange though. Like you said, they do have dive heroes, but they were also Anna Mercy. So like I
Yeah.
feel we were able to just kind of get in, and they don't have like any kind of immediate burst healing to survive that, and I don't know, worked out. So
Yeah, it
you
did.
just
Like
gotta be safer on the Roadhog kind of thing. And
they had a couple comps I thought were weird. You guys had a couple comps that I thought was kind of weird, but you made them work. In the end, it doesn't matter what the comp is, especially in my rank. When you're silver, comp doesn't matter. It depends on how you play them.
yeah, like I'm sure you're referring to like a lot of sim we have, but I don't know. Like we put the sim, he
Oh,
kind of just gets
I thought
ignored and
that
he
sim
destroys
was
everything. So I'm like,
I
we'll
thought
keep
that
rolling.
sim was glorious because it's like I was telling N2, like everybody seems because sim doesn't get played as much anymore, everybody seems to have forgotten just how good a Symmetra player can be and how devastating her turrets can be if placed correctly.
Yeah,
Like
What's the-
everybody forgot.
and
What's what?
I like it a lot with like if I play Orisa, it makes it just so easier to land every kind of body shot because they're slowed down by the turrets and stuff.
Yeah.
And normally we have a Mei with us as well.
What's your guys' plan for stage 2 where we have the 222 block coming in?
We'll figure it out. I don't know. Like I'm liking Orisa a lot, so probably try to focus on her. But who knows with the shield how much that'll change everything.
I don't know how many times I've said it during the stream. I think this will be the 4th time saying that 222 is going to take a while for all of us to get used to because of the fact that we've all been playing practically nothing but goats for the past couple months. And then all of a sudden, we're back into 222, and everybody for some reason has been going back into that like solo player concept or solo player mindset of how can I carry? And because it's like, oh, we're not playing goats. It's not, communications galore or else you lose. When in reality, it's you still got to communicate, but
Yeah.
nobody's used to communicating in 222 because none of us played 222 in forever.
I don't
Like
think
I,
we'll struggle too much with it though. Like we only ran goats for attack Dorado, and that was it. We were two
Yeah.
two two or 3 DPS even.
Yeah.
So
which I'm happy about. There are some teams that would have ran goats the whole time until such time as 222 was forced upon them.
yeah, like it's not trying to us make a statement or anything. I think that's what our team's more comfortable with. So
Yeah, which
we'll
is good.
adapt pretty
I'm
well, I
glad
think.
about that.
Yeah, like I think the first couple of weeks, like we had this roster, we spent maybe three weeks in a row scrimming just 222, just figuring out like how people play on certain heroes. And like even when goats and stuff like that was a very like prominent comp, we still kind of stuck to 222 as much as we could.
Right. When I
I think
first go ahead.
like in terms of 222, the weakest part for us would just be ult tracking. But like after playing goats and you know paying attention to when we're using ults when and stuff like that, like I think our 222 might be our strongest comp we have.
When I first joined the server during practice, we did nothing but 222 on the dev team. And then we played goats once during practice. And then like 2 weeks later than that, 2 weeks after that, we were playing nothing but goats. At all. Nothing but goats. I hate goats. I hate goats so much. Because I had to play Brig. I don't like playing Brig. I'm a good Brig, but it's boring. I'd rather play Reinhardt and, swing.
Right,
Yell
now
at
to no
people.
party than goats.
I'd rather yell at people and call them just yell my catchphrase at people. My catchphrase with Reinhardt is catchphrase. Warriors. All right. And two, any more questions? I have none.
Nope, I think we're good to go.
All right. Great games, everybody.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, Ramza and Tuxedano, for joining us.
See you guys in OCC 1.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
see you then.
Peace.
Peace. All right, Onomatopoeia, thank you for watching the stream.
I'm Nickel Nips.
I meant to
will
you.
see you, and I will see you next time.
I meant to you, and we will see you in stage 2.